come on in. Today we're going to do a little behind the scenes, talk about how we make videos on the channel. We're going to talk about process, equipment, that kind of stuff, as quickly as we can. You know, obviously fridge full of all of the major beverages, non-alcoholic beer, milk, mushrooms, camera, the important things. We've got the freezer. Got to have a freezer of coffee. Who are you if you don't have a freezer of coffee? And then over here we've got just a wall of stuff. The biggest headache of this whole space is just dealing with this. So we work here, we hang out here a little bit. This is like the editing workstation for now. It's kind of where we cut videos if we're here. So it's an M1 Mac Mini that does all the lifting here. We edit in Final Cut because it's easier and quicker and we all are comfortable in Final Cut. But really everything runs off this, which is the Synology NAS. Now I bought this a year or two ago now. I picked it because it was just so easy to set up, easy to get working. Since then, Synology have hooked me up with a couple of upgrades. So this now has the 10 gigabit port on there, which means that I can edit off the NAS, which is great. And also we've got some caching on there. So we finish a project and we shoot mostly in H.265 if you care about these things for YouTube, because there's no point shooting in ProRes for YouTube. I kind of feel. So projects aren't huge, but they're often still 100, 150 gigs. It means we can dump them on the NAS really quickly, and then when it's time to edit, we can just edit straight off the NAS. So super easy, super good. Really a big fan of that thing. Appreciate the upgrades from them. And if I take you into the other set, then you'll see kind of how we set that up and how we shoot. So you're probably pretty familiar with me stood here behind this set, but you probably haven't seen what's kind of capturing what's going on here. Now you can probably see this little mic on the ceiling. It's an Octava MK12, I think it is. I was using shotgun mics here, but actually from a sound perspective, they didn't work as well as something like this. So this really helps with the sound. We're still working stuff out here. So there's some sound blankets just hanging here. There's some acoustic panels over here on this side just to help treat the room. It's not a great room. It's a lot of hard which is tricky. Now the main camera that shoots me is a Zcam E2. It's set up over here, you can see it high, on a Sigma 18-35 lens, really great lens, love that thing. And this we just shoot 4K, this is the kind of wide. Over here, we occasionally use this as a B cam. Now this camera is 6K, it's the Zcam S6. This is mostly used as the main cam in the other set, but we can bring it in here. We can bring it in here, throw on this vastly oversized cine zoom, which is parfocal, which is really helpful for us here. And we can shoot this as a B cam, shooting in kind of detailed stuff here. We do have a top-down cam. There's a little Blackmagic pocket cinema camera 4K that sits up here if we want to do top-down stuff. And that's kind of how we capture this space. And over here, there's kind of more lighting, more storage, kind of gear storage, that kind of stuff. And the rest of the space, it's not too crazy. We had to put a sink in here, and that's been very nice because the previous set did not have a built-in sink, and the details matter when you're making a lot of AeroPresses or something else like that. Before we dive into the second set, we do have a little workstation kind of here where I pretend to know what I'm doing with tools. I don't, but it's been quite useful for sort of setting stuff up or building little things when we needed to do that. And then here is this little room. It's like a little box room, and it turns out to be perfect for the desk set. Let me jump into the desk and get set up. This is all being shot on that Zcam S6. I'm a big fan of Zcams. I think they're great value for money, tons of features. Attached to the front of it, again, total overkill, is a 28mm t1.5 Sigma cinema house lens because it just brings me joy. We've got a big fieldwide monitor that we don't really use outside the studio on top, but inside the studio it's kind of nice. Now, one of the advantages of the Zcam is that you can kind of run the whole thing off an app. So we do a lot of remote monitoring with this. This is just an iPad Pro. It's one of the early iPad Pros. A color correct monitor of this size. iPads are pretty good. A ton of sound panels around the walls here and some sound blankets just above my head. We're using the Octava mic again in here, an MK12. We use this desk set for kind of more talking head stuff now, not much brewing stuff anymore, excessive Nespresso video aside. But it's just a nice place to sit and be. Can close the door, shoot in relative quiet in what is quite a busy area around here in terms of the wider building. That's always a challenge. And that's kind of how we make videos. So in terms of who's doing what, like you'll recognize Michael, who runs the cameras when I'm talking. He appears on set sometimes and mixes bowls of coffee up and that kind of stuff. You probably haven't seen Melinda, who also works here too. That's us. This is how we make YouTube videos. This is where we film what we we do, how we do it, what equipment we use. I don't think I missed anything. For now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.